It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
Would the offender please introduce yourself for the record, stating your name and DOC number?
Damon Murray, 441360.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Let me explain the process to you. First, I will read information into the record, then the board will conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will allow the participants who have indicated to speak to have their input. We have 4 who are here in support. We have Ms. Audrey Murray with her mother, and with her is Ms. Courtney Russell, sister. Ms. Courtney will be speaking. We have Ms. Ruby Ardoin, aunt, who will not be speaking, and Ms. Mary Russell Cobb, aunt, who will not be speaking. And we also have Mr. Patrice Aden, who's the victim's brother, who will be speaking in opposition. At the end, Ms. Murray, you'll be allowed to make a brief statement before the board votes. Do you understand the process, sir?
No, ma'am, this is my first time.
Did you understand the process I was telling you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is a case for Damon Murray, DOC number 441360, date of birth April 15, 1977, classified as a first felony offender. Offenses: armed robbery, manslaughter. Sentencing date May 31st, 2001. Sentenced to a total of 60 years. Parole date April 15, 2022. Good time June 5th, 2052. Full term November 19, 2059. Is this information correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson.
Good morning, Mr. Murray. I'm Bonnie Jackson. Your case has been assigned to me, and so I'll get started with the questions this morning. How old are you?
44.
44, and you have a 60-year sentence. How much of that sentence have you actually served?
20 years now.
This involved the stabbing death of the victim. His vehicle was stolen. How old were you when this crime occurred?
I was like 22.
Did you know the victim?
No, ma'am.
How did you come into contact with him, and how did this crime happen?
Well, a friend of mine and I, we was really, you say on drugs under the influence, and we decided that we was going to rob somebody, and we were walking around and we stopped him and asked him for a ride. In the process of doing that, that's when we went about doing what we did. So basically like a robbery.
Okay. What were you trying to rob him of?
Money. And in the
Okay.
process,
Why'd you kill him? Why didn't you just take the money or whatever and leave? Why did you kill him?
it really was an accident. It wasn't supposed to happen.
You got to speak up. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
It was an accident. You know, he tried to resist, and in the process of him resisting, that's how it happened. It really was supposed to.
He was. I was looking at the reports. He was stabbed 30 times. That's not an accident.
In the process of fighting with someone, it was.
Well, I mean, don't you think he had a right to resist you trying to steal his belongings?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not denying nothing that happened. Yes, ma'am.
All right. I've looked at your disciplinary history, Mr. Murray. I'm going to tell you, it's quite concerning. You have had 65 write-ups. Your institutional record is listed as poor. Your last write-up was in 2020, and there were 2 in 2020 on different dates in August. They were both for aggravated disobedience. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about those write-ups. What were they involving, and how did you end up with them?
Really just being defiant, really. Someone telling me to do something and I didn't do it. And the officer felt as though I was disrespecting him, so he did his job and wrote me up. And my last write-up was really an unauthorized area. The institute I am, and now we have like different hours on the yard due to quarantine. And just so happened I was on the yard when my dorm went in, and I was still on the yard. And when I finally started to go in, they're like, "What you doing on the yard?" And I'm like, "I'm coming in." So I got an unauthorized area, being out without being in my yard time.
But in 2020, you had been in prison for around 18 years, and you still hadn't learned who's in charge and who needs to follow the rules?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I wouldn't be defiant in it. I wasn't aware that the yard had closed until I seen another.
I'm talking about not the last one, but that you had two in 2018.
I understand authority and I respect it. Sometimes I question it, which I'm pretty sure we all do.
Not when you're in prison.
Yes, ma'am, you're right, but I mean, we all have opinions on certain things, and I may not agree with something they may say, so I question it, and sometimes they feel like I'm doing too much, and they'll write me up.
Well, tell me what kind of programs you've completed during your incarceration, Mr. Murray.
I completed Living in Balance. I just completed Cage of Rage. I'm currently involved in victim awareness and other programs. The institute I'm in now, it has a waiting list, and I was placed on it, and I just, my name just came up being placed in the program that I've been applied to. Okay. So I am in some programs.
All right, but why are you just now getting into programs? You've been incarcerated almost 20 years. Why is it only recently that you've gotten into programs?
To be honest with you, like, I was young. I wasn't focused like I am now. I was young and I was kind of reckless, and I wasn't focused. I'm 44 now, and it's like, I'm grown. It's time for me to get focused, and I'm finally deciding that, I'm getting a chance now. See that, I do have a chance at going home. I mean, 60 years, that's a lot of time. And it's like,
that is.
Sometimes it's like, man, you just feel hopeless, and it's like, my family getting old, and it's like, I really want to get that to my family. And I feel as though at some point in your life, you got to grow up, and I'm growing up. I miss my family.
It looks like it took you until age 42 to grow up.
Yes,
because you were still getting write-ups 2 years ago, and you're 44 now.
Yes, ma'am, you're right.
So why did it take you so long?
I see hope now.
Well, but see, what that tells me is you weren't interested in becoming a better person, because we've had guys who had absolutely no hope of ever getting out, but they recognized they needed to do some things to work on themselves, to make themselves a better person, not just for the purpose of getting out. And they took a lot of programs. But it seems to me that the only reason that you're in programs now is because you think it's going to help you get out, not because you have any real interest in helping yourself become a better person.
No, ma'am, I can't agree with that due to the fact, like, throughout my incarceration, like I said, I have applied to programs. I have made the effort to get in these programs, and I can't just get in them when I want to get them.
Well, but Mr. Murray, I understand that, but you've been in prison 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that over the course of 20 years, before the pandemic even started, there were opportunities for you to get into programs, and you didn't seek those opportunities.
I have, but I didn't fully apply myself. I have, but I didn't fully apply myself.
All right. You have a lot of opposition. You have opposition, obviously, from the victim's family and from law enforcement. You can't change that. But tell me what you have learned over the last 20 years that would make us confident or comfortable that you would be a good risk to release.
Wow, I learned a lot. First of all, I learned how important my family is. I miss them so much. I also learned that, it's not my world. I can't do things that I choose to do when I want to do it. I learned to respect authority, which contrary to my write-ups I have, and I really learned the value of life. I mean, a lot of things that I've done, I regret. I can't take it back. I can apologize, but it's not going to change anything that I did. But I have learned from all the things that I've done, contrary to what you may be reading. A lot of things, people entitled to opinions. I may voice mine sometimes too aggressively and offend someone. But at the end of the day, I just want to get understanding of certain things. And I'm just really ready to get back to my family.
All right. Warden, what can you tell us about Mr. Murray?
Nothing really over and above what y'all have already discussed, Judge. He's been here for the number of years he's been here. His conduct record has improved over the last couple of years for the reasons he stated. He's currently enrolled in living in balance and anger management, and I think he also completed Cage of Rage recently in January. That's completed. I don't know if that's reflected on the report you have in front of you, but he has completed Cage of Rage program. And he also has his GED. I think he got that prior to his incarceration, but it is noted in his record that he has his GED prior to his incarceration. So he does have he has had a little stubborn streak in him over the years that we've known him, but he seems to be certainly moving in the right direction at this point. He's making efforts to get in programming and making efforts to keep his conduct record clean, and I think he's making efforts to prepare for reentry at this point in his incarceration, All
right.
That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Warden. Mr. Wise, thank you. That's all I have.
All right, at this time, I have a speaker, Ms. Courtney Russell. If you would unmute your mic and you go ahead and give your statement. Anything you say, be sure you apply it towards the board.
Good morning, honorable members of the Parole Board. My name is Courtney Russell. I am the sister of Damon Murray. I will be speaking on behalf of Damon and our family. Damon has been incarcerated for over 23 years. During that time, he has missed out on many opportunities, along with life experiences, time with family, and many more. As being the oldest and only sister of 3 brothers, I share a special bond with each one of them. But in age, Damon and I are the closest. He has always been my best friend growing up. When Damon got incarcerated, I felt like I became numb to the world and shut down, and it really took a toll on me. I had lost my best friend. Not only has he been taken away from me, but my younger siblings lost the chance to get to know their older brother. If released, Damon will be coming home to a loving family that will go above and beyond to keep him on the right path in life. He would be coming home to a safe environment. Our family will be whole again after 23 years. We truly believe that Damon is ready for his next chapter in life, and we believe he has been rehabilitated and reformed and is ready to enter society with a positive mindset. We pray that you all feel the same as us. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of my family, and I pray that you all have a blessed day. Thank you.
Also in opposition day, Mr. Arnold, if you would unmute your mic, you can speak. Anything you have to say it directly to the board.
Good afternoon. My name is Patrice Adin. I'm the young brother of Jimmy. Excuse me if I'm a little bit emotional, because that's the first time I see the face of the murder of my brother. This gentleman ruined our life, ruined my life. He killed my brother for no reason. He never met him before. He stabbed him 30 times. All my family is crushed, smashed. My mom lost her firstborn. She lost her mind, and I also lost my mom that day. She will never be the same. We all will never be the same without Jimmy. Damon killed my brother for no reason, like a savage. 30 times stabbed. He was convicted for 60 years. It's only 20 years. So I hear his family want him to get a chance to go back home. When is my brother coming home? When is Jimmy coming home? When is Jimmy gonna have the opportunity to see his nephews, to see his family? Never. For what? The damage he caused to our family. I'm so sorry. I'm begging today the board, for my mom, for my family, to give us the time to heal, because we haven't healed. We're still mourning Jimmy. He was an amazing guy. Everybody loved him. He was involved in the church. He came in Louisiana to teach French to little kids. And hear what happened to him. He just encountered Damon would kill him for a car, for money. Damon has a date of 60 years. It's not 20 years, it's 60 years. So here's just what I want to say, that we still paying, we still grieving Jimmy, and it's going to take a lot of time to see his gentleman in jail for the rest of his life for what he's done. This is not going to bring Jimmy back, and we're all conscious of that. Jimmy's going to be dead forever. But we really want that Jimmy's memory being respected. And if the justice system ruled like Damon Murray has to do 60 years in jail, he has to do his 60 years in jail for what he's done to me, to Jimmy, and to all my family. And I'm really sorry for his family, because I'm sure they also suffer to see Damon like as a brother in jail, but he has to pay for what he did. He crushed his family, he crushed my family, he has to pay for what he did. That's just what I want to say. I want to say thank you to the police officermen who caught him. I want to say thank you to all you judges for making the justice respected in the United States, and God may bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, no one's speaking. Damon, anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
First off, to the family and my family, I apologize for hurting y'all the way I did. Can't take back what happened. I can't. But I mean, it's like y'all looking at life for life. I mean, I respect life, but taking mine is not going to change anything. I apologize. I'm sorry. I know he loves his family. I love my family too. You know, I regret what I did. I can't take it back. I was young. We all do things when we're young. We do dumb things. It was stupid. I regret it, and I apologize. And I just want to be given another chance to rectify what I did. I mean, what more can, that's all I really can say. And this is my family. I want to go home. Sorry.
All right. Thank you very much. This time, Ms. Jackson will be voting.
Mr. Murray, I have listened to you and I watched you particularly as Mr. Aiden was speaking. If I had killed someone's brother senselessly and I was watching his pain, I think I would have hung my head in shame. But what I saw you doing is being defiant and shaking your head. When you had the opportunity to express remorse, it was only for yourself and your family. And then you threw in a few words because you felt like that was what you were supposed to do towards Mr. Aiden and his family. You have shown an attitude of defiance throughout your entire period of incarceration. You have been written up 65 times over the course of your incarceration. You have served less than half of your sentence. And today you made it all about you and how you're suffering. And you have absolutely no regard for the harm that you have caused to Mr. Aiden and his family. You received write-ups as recently as 2020 when you were not a young man. You were 42 years old. You have not taken enough programs. And quite frankly, I believe you still pose a risk of harm if you are released because of your attitude that you get to do what you want to do. Even in a penal institution, you get to express your opinions and do what you want to do. I don't think you've learned anything over the course of the time you've been incarcerated. And I don't think that you are ready, anywhere near ready, to be released. So, Mr. Murray, my vote today is to deny.
Mr. Marabella?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Murray, I agree with everything Judge Jackson just said. You have lost almost 2 years of good time because of your behavior, because of your defiance. You showed no remorse whatsoever towards the victim's family in this case. And Mr. Adin, I respect the courage it took for you to come here today and to speak to us, and I appreciate that. My vote today is to deny your parole as well. Good luck to you, sir.
At this time, Mr. Murray, I'm going to be voting with my colleagues. I'm going to vote to deny because of the same reason, but mainly because you lost a good time of 564 days. You had 3 disciplinary write-ups in 2020. You had 65 disciplinary on your disciplinary report. 25 of them on your list as aggravated disobedience. And one of them you really got to work on, I think the warden can tell you, is in Rule 21s. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to thank each and every one that participated today. The vote was to deny. been granted. Thank you.